great to be here. Good morning, everybody. I've come from Florida, where we share a lot in common. Both states have a desire to assure that the next generation has the power to be successful. Now the path to that success has to go through education more and more and more. This week is a very special week because this is National School Choice Week. And it is fitting that we're here today in Little Rock to talk about education. A defining moment in the civil rights movement occurred in this city in 1957. That's when the Little Rock Nine entered Little Rock Central High School and changed the nation. The message was a powerful one. All children are entitled to an equal education. That priority trumped everything else, including the deeply toxic racist attitudes that existed, sadly, at that time. I wish the goal was achieved when those children attended their first class. Unfortunately, it was not. Inequality just became easily hidden and therefore overlooked. Hidden in low-income neighborhoods, where schools were allowed to fail and to cover it up. It occurred because we promoted kids that never gained the power to read, much less acquire knowledge, and pass them along without much debate. We allowed this to happen also because it was overlooked because of the bigotry, the soft bigotry of low expectations that my brother talked about, which basically said that some kids can learn and some kids can't. Those who came out on the short end of the equation, and many, sadly, across our country, millions of children do fit into that category, have received a very unequal education as a result. 56 years after the Little Rock Nine, our most disadvantaged kids are the ones least likely to receive a quality education when they're the ones who need it the most. That is why access to a quality education is being called the civil rights issue of our time. It is also the economic issue of our time, which is why these great business leaders in Arkansas are here as well. There's no possible way that businesses in Arkansas can compete unless the next generation has the skills necessary to be successful. And if we don't do this state by state, our country is imperiled as well as many other nations now view education as the first priority, where closer to 100% of their kids gain the power of knowledge. Without an equal education, there's no such thing as equality. Laws cannot by themselves level the playing field. Equality ultimately can only come from equal opportunity, and equal opportunity requires that every child receive a quality education. Instead, we've gotten decades of excuses. These kids can't learn. They're poor. They only have one parent. You've heard all of the excuses to justify why it is that we have these huge learning gaps in our country. And no matter how much funding is increased, the failure has continued. Pouring more money into the same system doesn't improve them. It allows them to carry on. My years in state government taught me this. Government bureaucracies are very, very good at maintaining the status quo. There is often, most of the time, very little incentive to innovate or to take chances. Our children can't wait for plodding, incremental change. We need disruptive change. We need to invest in new ideas, new approaches in education. And that means creating more options for parents and more competition in schools.
Amen.
For example, one of the most exciting advances we're seeing in education is blended learning. This is where engaging digital content is combined with hands-on teacher guidance to increase learning. It allows students to learn in their own way, at their own pace. It doesn't hold them back. If they've already mastered the material, they can learn at a faster rate if they have the capability of doing it. It doesn't just pass people along that haven't mastered the material. It customizes the learning experience for every child. It is an innovation that will dramatically change education all across this country. But that is why it is opposed each step along the way by the very bureaucracies that should embrace these kinds of innovations. But the simple fact is that public monopolies operate for the adults in the system and not for the kids. High expectations, robust accountability, a focus on on early childhood literacy, higher class AP courses for kids that typically don't get them, teacher evaluation based on student learning, professionalizing the teachers. All these things are important. But the change that we must have has to also have with it school choice for parents, to empower them to make choices that are best for their students and their kids, but at the same time improving schools for everybody. What we've learned in Florida with the most ambitious school choice programs, both public and private, in the country, is that all schools get better when parents are empowered to make choices. You have the platform on which to build here in Arkansas. The evidence is right here as well, where thousands of students have flourished because of choice. A 2009 report from Stanford, a little community college out there in Palo Alto, California, singled out the success of the Arkansas charter schools, with low-income students the prime beneficiaries. The report noted significantly better gains in reading and math for charter school students compared to their peers in traditional public schools. The KIPP Delta public schools have had a tremendous impact on the lives of low-income children. KIPP students far outperform their peers in surrounding school districts. The data points aren't even close. KIPP Delta Collegiate High has been recognized as the second best high school in Arkansas by U.S. News and World Report. Coming first was another charter, the Haas Hall Academy. But KIPP focuses on traditionally underserved children. It has a 96% minority enrollment, and it also has a 91% AP participation rate in the school. And about 90% of the 2011 graduates went on to college or a university. Last year, KIPP Delta School was awarded a $225,000 grant from AT&T Aspire Local Impact Initiative for its efforts to reduce school dropouts. Schools like KIPP show what is possible, and they provide depressing evidence about the millions of children left behind over the years because they weren't afforded the same opportunity. The KIPP results should not be an anomaly, they should be the norm. There's no magic pixie dust at the entrance of KIPP classrooms. There is focus, discipline, hard work, grit and determination, motivation, and a calling to serve. If we extend these results to all schools, imagine what the benefits would be for the communities in which all schools were as successful as that school in the Delta south of here. Mississippi legislators are planning to give their state parents access to more choices for the first time in that state's history. And you'll be proud to know that when Mississippi Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves and some of the legislators and the education superintendent wanted to do research, they came across the border to visit the KIPP Delta Public School. There they talked with students and parents. To quote Lieutenant Governor Reeves, "What you see going on here is really miraculous because kids are placed in an environment where they have the best opportunity for learning." That is what school choice is all about. Put each student in the learning environment that best fits his or her needs. Thanks to that visit, the hope and opportunity sprouting in Arkansas's poorest neighborhoods hopefully will spread to Mississippi. That's another benefit of school choice. It can be emulated and copied by all sorts of other people, not just in Arkansas, but across state lines. A success in one state can be exported across boundaries. We can learn from each other. Mississippi shares in Arkansas's great fortune, and school choice in every way improves all schools across this country. And yet the struggle to increase school options continues. How can political leaders in any state deny their children opportunities because the adults feel threatened? Yet many who say they support strong schools, in fact, have you ever met an elected official that said they don't support strong schools? I mean, it's like, if you find one, let me know, because that would be a really honest, an honest politician, maybe. Many, in fact, all say they support strong schools, but they draw a line at school choice. Sorry, kid. Giving you equal opportunity would be way too risky. It will upset powerful political forces that we need to win elections with. I have a simple message for those masters of delay and deferral. Choose. You have a choice. You can either help the politically powerful groups or you can help the next generation of Americans. Parents deserve choice in education. Kids should not be put on a waiting list when their futures are at stake. Competition is what makes America the greatest nation on earth, and it will improve all schools. So I urge the legislature, the governor, moms and dads, the business community here in Arkansas to be big and to be bold, to act now on behalf of the next generation. They are depending on you. God bless you all, and thanks.